What's going on, y'all? So I'm sitting out here at school. My middle son currently has baseball practice, and for whatever reason, I'm actually working on our core family values. And as I'm doing this, since I'm a quick start and I just get big ideas all the time, for some reason I started thinking about this client meeting that I had probably almost 8 or 9 years ago. And what's funny about this client meeting was, so this client meeting was, he was the son of an A client. You know, it was a good client. The son was about my age. I think he was about 3 years older than me at the time. And all I knew about them was that they lived out of state. They were married, they had some young kids, and they were doing very well. Didn't know exactly how much, but what I was led to believe that they were making a lot of money. And my clients, their parents, were excited to refer them to me. Blocked off some time on my calendar, they came in, and I got to know more about their situation. So, as I mentioned, he was about 3 years older than me. Both him and his wife worked for the same company, and they each were making over $200,000 a year. I think the husband was making about $250,000, the wife was making $220,000. So combined, they were making almost $500,000 a year, which is pretty impressive. Like I said, I think he would have been in his mid-30s, making $500,000 per year. And like, I'm excited about this, right? Because he was a high achiever. He definitely had some big ambitious goals. And then what he also told me was that he wanted to retire at the age of 50. Not that he was ready to call it quits at the age of 50, but it was this, I want to be able to have enough money, enough investments saved up to where, you know, as we all like to say, I want my money to work for me, and at the age of 50, I want to be able to call it quits. So these are the types of meetings that I love. I love when I meet younger people that are driven, that are motivated, that all the success that they've had is what they have done themselves. You know, there's no silver spoons, no nepotism. I mean, they just gone out, worked their butt off, and achieved that level of success. And there's nothing that moves the needle more for me than that. But as I got to, once again, learn more about their story, this is when the needle that was moved was moving in the other direction. So what I ended up finding out was, yeah, they're making $500,000 per year, which is a lot of money. So then we start getting into the conversation of how much investments do you have? How much do you have saved? You know, where are your investments at? How are you invested? So we started having that discussion, and this is where it got interesting. He breaks out all their statements. You know, he's got his 401k statement. He's got like a life insurance policy. He's got his checking account statements. I mean, he's got like a pile of paperwork that he is, you know, pulled out of a file folder that I think that he had. So I start going through it all. You know, that's kind of the typical thing that I would do, is just kind of go through all the investments and, you know, start tallying it on my own notepad of what they have invested, where it's invested. So as I'm digging through this and going through all the paperwork, I'm writing it down on my legal pad. I noticed something, and what I noticed is this. When I added everything up together that he had in total assets, and this is including his checking account, his checking and savings, and his 401k and all his investments, he had, wait for it, he had $17,000 in total assets. Did you hear that?
He had $17,000 in total assets.
He was in his mid to late 30s. He wanted to retire in the next 12 to 15 years, and he had $17,000 saved up. So, do you see the problem here? Do you see the disconnect on like what was going on? And initially I'm just thinking, what am I missing here? Like, is there a statement that you haven't shown me? Did you forget to print off something? Like, what am I not seeing here? So I had to ask him, like, okay, what I see here is about 17,000. Like, is there another account that I'm not seeing? Maybe did you have like a login access to another account maybe you didn't print off the statements for? That's when I guess he pretty much just laid the bombshell, in that no, there was nothing else. He didn't have any more money. That was all they had. All they had to their name, in addition to having, you know, debt, because they had cars, they had a big house, they had a lot of debt. That's all they had was $17,000 of investments. So if you're wondering what what was he thinking or what's going on in his head? Let me tell you, like, that's exactly where I was. Because I'm trying to figure out, you tell me that you want to be able to retire in the next 12 to 13 years or so, and you only have $17,000 saved up. What am I missing here? Like, was there some, like, and I knew his parents, like, they weren't multi-millionaires, so, and they were spending their money because, you know, they had saved up for retirement, so it wasn't like he had this huge inheritance to look forward to. But basically what he ended up saying was, we make a lot of money, so therefore I should be able to have enough at retirement. You see the problem here? In his mind, somehow he just had believed the fact that they were making $500,000 a year, but they weren't saving anything. They were spending everything. As I mentioned, they had car payments, they had a big house, they traveled a lot. I think they also had a boat, and they just had like all these things that they were just doing to try to keep up with everybody else. And I just had to break it down for him. Like, listen, I go, I love the fact that you guys are making a lot of money. I love the fact that you have these big ambitions of retiring early, you know, or at least being in the financial position to retire early. But I think you're missing one important detail here, and that detail is you are not saving enough. Not only are you not saving enough to retire at 50, like, you're not saving enough to retire at 70. Like, at this rate, like, you will never retire, period. And I think I ran the numbers, I don't remember exactly, but I basically showed him that if you truly want to retire at the age of 50, then you have to start saving, like, right now, like $6,000 per month. Or, I don't remember if that was the exact number, but it was pretty crazy how much, and that was basically like how much they thought they needed to live off of at the age of 50. I think the important lesson to be learned here is that, okay, yeah, this dude was messed up. I mean, he just had no concept of reality and what it really took to retire early. But I don't think he's the only one. I think there are a lot of other people, actually I know there are a lot of other people that have this misconception that they're saving enough. And for those that are in the US that are watching this, you know, the most common thing that most people have are 401ks. And you'll hear, oh, I save enough to get the match, you know, if your employer offers some sort of free match. So they'll put in their 3%, their 5% or whatever, get the 2 or 3% match, and they think that they're doing okay. The reality is, like, you're still not even close. You're not even close, and that's to retire at the age of 60 or 65. What you don't realize is that if you're not saving at least 20% or more, you're not close right now. Now, can you change some things in the next few years, get your finances in order? Yeah, you can do that. But most people don't. And most people, like, are this guy who wake up and think, oh, I'm gonna be able to retire in 10 years. But you haven't done anything. Like, you haven't saved enough at all, period. Don't be this guy. Don't think that you're gonna be able to retire early when you're not saving anything. And just because you make a lot of money don't mean jack. You have to save, you have to invest, you have to put some money away. And for all you, like, FOMO people that think, oh, I'm just gonna live it up, you can enjoy it. That's fine, that's great. But one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be in the poorhouse, you're gonna be living off food stamps, you're gonna be regretting the fact that you didn't save and invest like everybody else. You know how I know that? Because I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. The ones that, oh, I just lived in the moment, had fun. Like, guess what? You can still save and invest and have fun. Like, that is a possibility. But don't think that just because you make a lot of money that you are going to just, bam, magic's gonna happen and you're gonna be living the high life, because it ain't going to happen. So here's my question to you right now. And if you're comfortable, share in the comments below. I wanna know, what percentage are you saving per month? Are you saving 5%? Are you saving 10%? If you don't know the percentage, then let me know, what's the dollar amount? How much are you saving per month? Is it 50 bucks? Is it 100 bucks? Because most people I talk to have no clue how much they're saving. And if you don't know what you're saving, then you ain't living, right? You ain't living for the future. You ain't living for the now. You're just drifting. Don't do that. That ain't fun. Don't be the $17,000 guy. Be better. You can be better than that. Jeff Rose, this is me reminding you that your money, your life. And be sure to check out the other videos, like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I'm gonna tell you one more time, your life is awesome, but you gotta make it awesome. Peace out.